recognize this little workbench add-on I made a few weeks back, designed to be a portable, modular, temporary router table. But then I also, if you check my past videos, also made an insert to drop a jigsaw in the same spot in order to have a low volume scroll saw type setup using a jigsaw and a similar insert as this aluminum one you see here today. What I wanted to show you is a minor upgrade I've made to this, and that is the ability to use the fence beyond just simply clamping it to the tabletop wherever I want. So, well, first of all, you'll notice a few coffee cup stains, pardon those, but you know, that's an inevitable part of any kind of workshop. You'll notice here a new additional hole, one that is not filled with a screw head. It's slightly larger, about a 1/2 inch diameter. And over here you will see that I have laid out a radius on the other side of the table, and having partially cut out a slot here. I'm going to pause the video for the moment. I'm going to get out my fence. I'm going to show you what I did with the fence. Now, I showed you this fence earlier, just simply made from some plywood rips, reinforced with a piece of 1x as a stiffener on the top, some angled reinforcements to give myself a nice, solid, stable, straight edge and vertical edge to be used as a fence. Now, how I've modified this is I have put a pivot point on the underside of this using a simple dowel that fits nice and snug into that hole that I drilled. That's my pivot point for this fence. Now, on the other side, I have done something quite similar to what other people have done. Again, being inspired by YouTube, so wanting to pay back to YouTube by sharing my ideas. What we have here is simply a T-nut. Okay, so I was showing you a minute ago, got basically a shop-made star nut with a threaded T-nut inserted into it. Pardon the crack, that's been all glued and clamped real good, so it's nice and solid. And a star knob to work hand in hand with it. So where I have this pivot point on one end, over here on the other side of the fence, I have a corresponding hole that follows that radiused route in the table. And so by simply using this T-nut on the underside of the table and the star knob down through the top, I can set the fence where it belongs in relation to whatever bit I'm using, tighten the knob, good to go. So you'll notice that there is a cut on this handmade star knob. The reason for that being is because of the limitations of the design. This is a small and modular table, so there are some size limitations. One of them was in order for me to have the pivot point centered on the blade, on the bit on one side of the table, I was limited as to how much of a radius I could get on my swing here. And so in order to maximize the radius that I could use, I cut one side off of this star knob so that the star knob would go against the bench on the underside here. I'm just showing you out here for the sake of clarity. And that maximizes how far I can swing this fence back and still use this star knob to tighten it down. This setup is more than adequate for the type of jobs I intend to do with this table. So stay tuned as I continue to show you various shop-made jigs that serve the purpose of a small shop that is mobile and modular by nature, so that it can still be used as a garage when it's not making sawdust. Okay, thanks for your attention. Stay tuned for the next one.